Hello, alright? This is my feedback to your summary from last week. Okay, let's start. First of all, let me just say this is quite a well-written paragraph. Very good style, good academic English, really well written. And I also want to note that this was a peculiar video. The exam video is not going to be like this. This was a little too long. It was mostly examples, so it was kind of hard to summarize. But I can see that you've made an effort. So let's see what the main aspects of this are. So first of all, starting from the first sentence, you mentioned the speaker, the name of the title of the video. Now remember, we always try to use an argumentative verb here and try to frame the main idea as an argument. Now this video was difficult in the sense that there was not much of an argument. It was mostly description. But you should still do your best to try and put that in argumentative form. So even though it doesn't really look like an argument, you kind of try to force it. Okay? So what would we say here? The speaker argues that, and then what would be the main idea? It's kind of hard to tell. Beyond the descriptive, argues that, and then you want to include the main idea. Something that's not descriptive. What would that be? Maybe, okay, so he's faced by a number of students. So I think what he's maybe trying to tell them is there's an important distinction, or that they need to know the difference. So you could say something like, the speaker argues that it is important to be able to distinguish between innovation and invention. Something like that. It's not much of an argument, but what can we do here? The text is very descriptive. Even though it is descriptive, you should still force yourself to frame it as an argument. So, argues that it is important, or students need to know the difference between invention and innovation, or something like that. Because really it's a theoretical lecture about the difference between invention and innovation. That's it. So, again, description can be sort of shaped and expressed as an argument, but we need to force it a little bit. At first, okay, he describes, he starts by, briefly, what is the invention and innovation. Okay, here the comma cannot, these are two independent clauses and they cannot be united by a comma. So this is a comma splice. In other words, you need either a full stop or a semicolon. You cannot just say this is an independent clause, right? Then comma, and then another independent clause. You cannot link them with simply a comma. It has to be either a semicolon or full stop. However, the majority of the students are still confused. I'm not very sure that that's the case. I mean, they were pretty good at guessing. You can just say that he briefly describes the difference between invention and innovation and goes on to show several examples. Something like that. Right? And demonstrates the difference by showing a number of images. Something like that. And demonstrates the difference, blah blah blah, by showing a number of images or examples. But we don't mention the examples. We don't say what they are, because remember, in these summaries we try to stay away from examples and evidence. Okay. Then he details that invention is a new idea or theory. Okay, you don't need a comma here. Whereas innovation is the transformation implementation of these ideas into product that is useful for people. This is actually a very good sentence. Okay, very nice. You've expressed it quite succinctly, and that is indeed the difference. So, good, well-balanced, grammatically correct, well-structured sentence. Okay. In other words, invention is just creation and introduction of new concepts, while good innovation is the process, you need an article here, is the process of further improving these concepts into commercial products that can be bought in the market. Again, this is quite a good sentence. The while works really well. The two phrases are balanced. Okay, very nice. Another good strategy, see here, when you mention the pictures, you could have mentioned those a little earlier, because really he starts very early. And a lot of the lecture is basically him showing pictures right from the start. Regarding these terms, terminology is singular, so it's either these terms or this terminology, but I would say these terms because it's just two terms. And ask the students whether they belong to invention. Okay, fine. Yeah, I think this sentence could very well go somewhere around here towards the beginning, because really the whole lecture is about that. As a result, most of the students are able to distinguish. Okay, fine. But remember, first of all, it's good. The concluding sentence should sort of try and go back to the main idea. And if we say that the main idea is it's important for them to know the distinction, then actually you're doing a good job here. They are able to distinguish. That's fine. I would say his final thought, the very final thought, he was talking about the impact of the ballpoint pen. And again, he gave an extended example of the ballpoint pen. And what he was really talking about, you can sort of guess what the main idea was, what the concluding idea at that point was. And that was probably he was trying to illustrate that, look, the ballpoint pen, it was just this small thing, just a little pen, but look at how impactful it was. So I think he sort of ended with the unpredictability of innovations, that they can seem very small, very insignificant, but really they can be very impactful. So I think you can say something like that in the end, right? And that would be a nice kind of concluding thought, because he does end with that. I think that's probably the reason why he gave the example of the pen in the first place. So in conclusion, the speaker explains that innovations can be very impactful even though they may initially seem insignificant or something like that, right? So that could be a nice way to end it. And here, this doesn't really support anything. Whether the students are able to distinguish, okay, fine, but that's not really an idea. It's just the fact of the lecture, right? So that's not really a supporting idea. But I really applaud the fact that you try to circle back to your main idea. That's what you need to do. The conclusion should sort of echo the main idea. So that's a good thing that you did here. But it should also be kind of like an abstract thought, kind of like a principle, or it really should be an idea, not simply the fact that the students are now able to. That's just an observation of what happened in the lecture. We want to end, the conclusion should be kind of like a philosophical thought almost, something like that. But overall, this was a good summary. You did what you could with this very difficult video, difficult to summarize, otherwise quite fun, I think. So I guess the moral of this, just really try to force the first sentence into an argument, even though the video is descriptive, and then I think you did the rest quite well here. I mean, there weren't really that many supporting ideas, it's mostly examples, and I think you did a good job. So overall, good work, and it's a well-written summary. Okay, I hope this was helpful. Enjoy writing these summaries. There aren't that many left now in the semester, so onwards and upwards.